Welcome to another episode of Core Discussions. My name's Legacy.
And I'm Max.
I'm Bobby.
By the way, Jay.
All right, so today we are going to be talking about the latest NFL draft. Woo! 2023. Okay. All right, before we start the video, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. So, gentlemen, are you ready to get into it?
Always ready.
All right, so the first thing I want us to talk about, as you all know, there are Panthers fans here, and they had the number one pick. They got Bryce Young with their number one pick, so you all can feel free to discuss about what you thought.
I like the pick. I would say I wanted him or CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
So they picked one of the two, and I'm very happy. Like I said, he may be short, and they say he's an injury risk, but I said every quarterback is at risk of being injured. So he may be more high prone, but if he learns to take shots or learn to get rid of the ball quick, he can probably be like Drew Brees and last a long time.
If he is good, he has a solid roster, excluding he's got okay receivers, but Miles Sanders will help a lot, and you got Hayden Hurst too. I think is a decent receiving tight end, better than Ian Thomas for sure.
They got a good O line. Actually, like I said, the receivers aren't bad, man. I like Mingo. I mean, some of those catches I saw in his highlight reel look ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm very I'm excited to see what he does. Besides a few exceptions, like the past few times Panthers have drafted a receiver high, hasn't really panned out. But DJ Moore helped, but we'll see.
And then how do you feel also? Because it's Frank Reich now. So
like I said, the coaching staff, I feel way more confident. If it was Matt Rule that made the pick, I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, Bryce Young. Your career's over.
Better because Frank Reich at least made some good decisions, whereas Matt Rule, as you expect, complete incompetency, and that's exactly what you got.
And like I said, not only does he have Frank Reich, but he has Jim Caldwell, who's a great offensive coach, Josh McCown, Thomas Brown, who's a rising offensive person. I mean, he got coaches galore to learn from.
The addition of Jim Caldwell was great because he's been pretty good wherever he's gone.
A lot of people give Jim Caldwell crap because he didn't win the playoff game with the Lions. I'm like, he's the best Lions coach in a long time.
He gets too much heat for that.
Yeah, in 7 seasons he was a head coach. He had 5 winning seasons.
And when we get into our NFL predictions, we'll discuss this more, but he arguably is the best quarterback. He's definitely the second best quarterback in that division, arguably the best. So it's really going to be very interesting.
I'm honestly predicting a winning season.
Yeah, I mean, look, if they can go 7-10 with Baker, Sam Darnold, and PJ Walker, they should be a little bit better this year.
I'm thinking it'll be like a 9-8 season if they do it. It's not going to be anything crazy.
Oh, I don't think they're going to go 11-6 or anything.
No. 9-8 first year with the rookie, I'd be happy with that. Anything more than 5-6 wins.
Yeah, well, and they shouldn't be too bad. Also with Miles Sanders, running backs usually do well in Frank Reich. I think that's also another
to be a pretty good fantasy option.
And then, like I said, with Mingo, the fact that Steve Smith signed off on him makes me feel a little bit more confident. So I remember back when Cooper Kupp got drafted, people gave Steve Smith grief because he said Cooper Kupp was the best wide receiver in his class.
Steve Smith,
whoa.
Apparently is really good at digesting tape.
What does he know about receivers, though?
Max knows that some people wonder.
So overall, how do you all feel about your draft?
I'm happy with it. I give it
I'm happy. I said the only pick that confused me was the 3rd round pick because
I've said that was the most widely criticized pick. But I mean, with the draft, you never know. They could be looking smart, but a lot of times I think there is statistically a higher probability this is a bust pick since it's against the consensus board. But I mean, like I said, he's athletic as one can be. I mean, his size and athleticism, that probably will help him. And to me, I felt like that was like a Seattle Seahawks pick. Back in the day, they always would pick traits or film, and it seemed to work out for Seattle. Not really much for the Panthers, but we'll see. Now, all I know is he'll be ready to throw hands if some rowdy fans get in his way. That's all I know.
All right. We're going to talk about the next team, the next one of our teams. It is NFL Georgia Bulldogs. The Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah.
Well, we also now go by Georgia North.
Man, how many Bulldogs y'all want on your team? Goodness gracious.
5 or 6 or whatever the count.
Save some for the rest of the league.
No. We'll even trade you for yours.
It must be nice for those scouts who just have to go just to Georgia games and don't even bother with the rest of the league. Just watch the Georgia games. That's it.
Look, I wish my wife looked at me the way Harry Roseman looks at Georgia players.
Hey, he knows a good thing when he sees it.
I wish.
Can't blame him. But as far as my feelings, I love the draft. The past 2 drafts from Harry Roseman have been, at least on the surface, we don't know yet, but they look fantastic. Look like they could be
absolute steals,
building blocks for the future. And if the Eagles hit on most of these picks, they're set up to be, like they're set up to have another run like they did in the early 2000s, where they were about to have 10 wins every year.
Even if they miss, like you can at least say the Eagles pick players that everyone was a consensus about. Like if Jalen Carter is a bust, I won't fault the Eagles for drafting him because everyone thought he was gonna be good.
I can't believe he.
It's not like they just took a swing and a miss. Everyone thinks he's gonna be good, so if he isn't, then. And then Nolan Smith, no one thought he'd be at there at third. He was just.
And then of course last year they took Jordan Davis, so now they have both of those DTs right there. So that could be really deadly. Then they get Nolan Smith, who they said is exactly like Hassan Reddick. And the Eagles already have Hassan Reddick, and he had 17 sacks last year, so they're even close.
18, I think. No, he had 16 last year.
Some mock drafts had him in like the top 15.
Yeah. Daniel Jeremiah had him going number 10 to the Eagles, so he got the player right, just not the pick.
Mm-hmm. So that right there tells you that's a steal.
I said, we all know how good Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft was, but he had the Texans going to number 3 to draft Will Anderson. He had that.
Shout out Daniel Jeremiah. You know what you're talking about.
Yep.
And then the third round, they get an Alabama guard, or he played tackle in college. So, but Alabama, so he had to be pretty good and to be just even in Alabama. So that's not a bad pick. And then they needed a safety. So I'm glad they got that with Sidney Brown. And then they stole Kaylee Ringo in the 4th round. Get them that.
That's
late.
who I wanted the Panthers to get, but I'm glad they got their young guard from State. I liked him too.
Yeah, I think Ringo was like a consensus at least 2nd round player. And then they trade for DeAndre Swift. So now they got DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny at running back. So, when one gets hurt, when one of them gets hurt, maybe the other one will be available and vice versa. So,
well, one's definitely getting hurt. That's a guarantee.
Yeah, maybe they'll just trade off the weeks that they're hurt.
Just hopefully not the one that I draft in fantasy. Draft one of them,
If you ask me to grade this draft, that's a A+.
Cowboy fans are punching air right now with that draft.
Well, now, I've seen some Cowboys fans that try and play like their draft was better.
No, they didn't get the consensus best player.
Good.
Phil, how about your Patriots?
They only had about 50 picks.
Bill Belichick did his usual trade down, trade swap, get 30,000 picks.
Yeah, they said there were 43 trades during the draft. That's insane.
Yeah. And I would say that first round pick was a steal for them because he was projected to go top 10.
Yeah, he was not supposed to be anywhere near New England. He also has to. New England doesn't have really any tall cornerbacks, so that's going to add. That's going to add to New England's cornerback. And Bill Belichick has always been good with cornerbacks, so they said that was an area that New England needs to watch. But New England keeps finding them. We'll find them. That was a good pick just for the value of it.
No, the value was excellent because he was projected a lot of times to be the top 10 pick. Yeah. Sometimes I even saw him mocked to the Lions at 6.
I saw, yeah.
Oh,
and then can we talk about how unexcited Keon White?
Yeah, I was like, did you see the reaction from Keon White? I mean, that was crazy. He looked so pissed to be drafted by the Patriots.
I think he had to say something later on that he was very excited.
Yeah, because he had that statement of like, I'm a very big business person. I'm not with the flash and glamour. And it's just about winning and being business. So
I actually think the clip they showed of him being serious was right before he was drafted. They showed it out of sequence.
Yeah, that's what I think.
It's because then they showed him crying later. So I'm joking. I don't think he was pissed. I think they shot it out of. It was misleading.
It's just so funny watching it. Like, man, he looks pissed off.
That bolsters the line, and I mean, with a couple of the picks they do have already, with Wise had a pretty good year. Judon, he's going to be in DM, but he can kind of add to that kind of linebacker DN. With the addition of Rodgers, there's a lot of offensive talent. So with the first 2 picks, it's like it was kind of, or first several picks have been to, I feel, combat that. Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets. That's really good. And I mean, if they get I forgot their running back, Breece Hall coming back. Wilson looks like he's probably going to have a good year with Aaron Rodgers. So they're probably going to have to bolster for facing the Jets offense. If Tua is at all healthy, you have to play Miami's offense, and then you also have the Bills offense. So trying to bolster that defense to make sure it can keep with all those offenses. Also went with Marte Mapu. I probably butchered his name. So, man. So,
hey, tell me what you know about him.
Not a thing. Not a thing.
Now, according to ESPN, he was the seventh best inside linebacker.
But with so I understand what you're saying about them needing to combat the offense in the AFC, but I think they should have at least with one of their first 3 picks, once they want on defense, get some more offensive weapons. Maybe draft the Ohio State receiver instead of Christian Gonzalez. Maybe get some more firepower there.
Max, he hates Mac Jones. He wants him to fail so he can get another quarterback.
No. Here's where I think with the Christian Gonzalez one, it was just so much value at that point. You could not pass him up, especially with Bill Belichick. He loves corners, and I think it was just too much value at that point. It was like, this dude just dropped in our lap. Like, come on. Oh no! I mean, got a center. Got a center. I'm kind of the pick of the kicker again. I just don't believe in ever picking a kicker early. I
think they're like the first team since like the early 2000s, maybe mid 2000s, to pick a kicker and a punter in the same draft.
I don't know. I'm just like, it's a kicker, dude. Like, you can wait, but okay, Bill. Really if you believe it, yeah, it's if you believe in it, yeah. I did want a receiver. I think even New England might just be resigned to the fact they can't draft a receiver to save their life. So let's just hope we can get something in free agency because they still need a one. I was hoping they were going to make a trade for somebody for DeAndre Hopkins. Because usually that's the move. That sometimes Bill Belichick will just do that, just wait. But also he loves his draft picks, so he doesn't want. But hopefully they can make some type of move to get a receiver because still need a number one. You're looking down at the AFC. That AFC East is going to be very hard to win. Heck, that AFC is going to be hard to win. Are they trying to just buy some time? Probably not competing for a little bit because we don't have all the pieces we need.
It's a meh draft.
We'll see. I mean, got some later guys, but I mean, some of the other players, later players they've gotten in the 4th and 5th round, that's usually where New England kind of strikes gold. Is with
that's kind of funny. Belichick's a better mid-round drafter than like first-round drafter.
Yeah, he finds the gold then. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the other teams. Let's talk about one of the stories, C.J. Stroud, that was being highly touted of. He's going to drop all those picks and all.
I never bought that.
Yeah, I knew there was a bunch of who.
They were just hoping that would somehow sway the Texans and then not getting them.
Yeah, the second they said that Houston was going to pass up a quarterback when their starter's Davis Mills, I'm like, there's no shot they pass on a quarterback.
Yeah, that'd be the dumbest thing.
That would be, yeah. I'm like, they have to take quarterback.
And some people wanted to do that so they can get Caleb Williams next year. I thought there's no guarantee that Caleb Williams will be even good, or if he gets hurt next year before he even gets drafted. Can't they take those types of chances?
Well, also, if you're the coach, you don't know. Like, if you're really bad, there's no guarantee you're going to have your job.
Yeah, the Texans are very fire happy.
I think they're going to be interesting. I didn't believe it, but I was hoping somehow because I'm like, I don't think the Patriots ever go for him. But I'm like, if he's there at 17, as much as I like Mac Jones, C.J. Stroud is it's a different animal. I believe highly in him. Good luck with the Texans. But they did get Will Anderson. They made a trade with Will Anderson, which that is again probably arguably the best player in the draft.
People debate between him and Jalen Carter. So I mean.
The only thing you have to question is giving up a pick for next year because that could end up being a pretty high pick since the Texans aren't expected to be good. Yeah. But if Will Anderson is as good as you think he is, then it's really going to be a good pick there too.
Well, I think it's going to pan out better than when the Saints gave a future first-round pick to draft Marcus Davenport.
Yeah, because everyone knew that was a bad trade to get. I mean, people are like, hey, this trade. People are not like crapping on the Texans for making it. That trade, like they were the Saints, because Will Anderson is going to be good. It's just like, is he going to be just good or really good?
Yeah.
So you got a top 2 quarterback in the draft and a top 2 pass rusher. I think that's a pretty good draft. You can punt on the rest of it and still be a pretty good draft.
Yeah, I think after that, the rest of the draft is just okay. If Stroud and Anderson work out, then this draft is already an A+ right there.
And the quarterback. If the quarterback works out, the rest of the picks can suck, and it'd be a great draft.
If you look at the Eagles 2020 draft, aside from Jalen Hurts, is pretty bad.
a couple years later, panned out because they got Hurts. And
yeah, no one's calling for Howie's job for that draft class because he got Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. We'll go into the Colts taking Richardson.
I like that pick.
Yeah, he was too risky to be number one pick. He was too. If he had like a college season like Cam Newton did, he's number one pick, no problem. But his college tape was, let's be kind, not good.
Well, I think he went to the perfect team because Shane Steichen's just a coach, and he coached Jalen Hurts. He can run a similar offense. I don't think he's going to be as good as Jalen Hurts throwing the ball. He'll probably be a quicker runner. Won't get as many touchdowns.
Yeah,
it's just less pressure on him now. He wasn't number one or number two.
Yeah. Well, and also he has time. I think.
Yeah, they don't have to rush it, but he's going to play. He's going to start the majority of this year.
Well, he's going to start, but nobody's expecting the Colts to be that good. I think that's what helps with Richardson is like, even if they suck, as long as he shows something, he's kind of in a good.
He's going to a good offense.
Yeah,
the offensive line is better than how they played. Just on paper, they look good, but they haven't played good. So we'll see.
Well, I guarantee they're going to have a top 5 rushing attack with him.
If Jonathan Taylor does return, I think he has 2,000-yard potential with because running backs with running quarterbacks generally do well because they usually have a hard time picking which one's going to get the ball.
I think someone described it best. Like for the Colts, you got to play one or two ways. You're going to have to just pretty much go all out to stop the run and let Anthony Richardson beat with the pass, or try to stop the passing game. I said you're better off just trying to stop the running game.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I'm just gonna go stop the run, and if he can beat me with the pass, he beats me with the pass until he can. But we'll see. We'll see with what they got. We'll see.
The potential's there. You gotta hope he puts it together.
Yeah, but as we know, potential also gets you fired.
Yep.
They needed a quarterback. The two top choices were taken. They had to take a quarterback. Yeah, I was like, I'd rather take Richardson with the potential than Will Levis, which I'm like, he is what he is at this point.
Yeah, is that right, Jacob? Yeah, Will Levis, huh? How do you feel about Will Levis?
You want to segue to the Titans?
I wanted Hooker so bad.
We'll just go into it, so go ahead.
I mean, it's okay, I guess. I'm fine with the first round pick. First round pick, I'm really excited about because they need lineman help. But
I was like, if you don't know, Jacob's a big Titans fan as well as a Panthers fan.
Yes.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Peter
Gronkowski. Yeah,
what was his name? I think that's solid.
Pro Bowler written all over him.
Will Levis, I think he's got more potential at this moment.
I honestly would rather have him play than Tannehill.
Well, I was going to say, you don't have to start Levis off the bat.
I think they should, though.
Jay, they could start Malik Willis again.
You will never see Malik Willis start another game for Tennessee Titans. The only way is if everybody's hurt.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Malik Willis is Bruno Caboclo. He's 3 years from being 3 years away.
Yeah, he's got some development to do.
The running back they got in the third round, I read somewhere that somebody was saying that, or some teams got him off the board because they said his knee was cartilage, bone on bone. So they think he's going to have a really short career.
The J.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true. It may not be true. That's just what I've read.
The other one I kind of wanted to go into is the surprise pick. Detroit Lions taking Gibbs. Like,
yeah,
it kind of shows you. It really shows you they were planning on Robinson being there, and once Robinson wasn't there, they had no clue what the hell they were doing.
Well, they say that they would have taken Gibbs over Robinson if they were like a pick 6, and because they traded back on pick 6. They said if you were going to pick between the two, we're going to pick Gibbs, and they can't. We pick Gibbs. I'm like, bullshit.
No, you have to say that because you picked him.
I mean, he has potential to be very good, kind of like an Alvin Kamara. He's good at both running and receiving, but it's a high pick for someone who was slated like in first round, beginning second round.
You could have waited. You really could have waited for second round and probably traded.
I also think they reached on Jack Campbell just because he plays inside linebacker. That's not as valuable as it used to be. Now, I mean, of course, if he's like a Luke Kuechly inside linebacker, then of course it's going to be a home run pick. You're not going to find those too often. And this guy was projected to be a first round pick, but not like that kind of level of Luke Kuechly, Patrick Willis, anything like that. And I thought with the tight end pick right at that, I would have taken Michael Mayer over Sam Laporta. But I did like both the third round picks here with Brian Branch and Hendon Hooker. I like both of those.
That was good. I thought Hendon Hooker should have gone a little quicker, but
It's only because he tore his knee and he's 25.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm like, I like him better than Will Levis still. The Falcons taking Robinson.
The Falcons have been making questionable picks lately because they took Kyle Pitts when it was a team that was that pick was for a team that's ready to contend, taking a tight end that high, and the Falcons clearly weren't anywhere close to competing. And then they do something similar here with Bijan Robinson, where usually running back, you want to get it to a team that's close to contending because you're kind of just wasting him on a bad team,
Well, because I'm like, I get it with maybe you just didn't want to take Levis out because I'm like, you really need a quarterback. But
they didn't even take one the whole draft.
Yeah, I'm like, you didn't even just take somebody because you still don't have a quarterback unless you're trying to play the whole like, let's get this offense ready and hopefully we can get a quarterback next year. But it's like, okay, well, it's not a great strategy. Like, it could pan out, but it's a very risky strategy.
It's going to be interesting if the season goes away. I think it's going to go for them if Arthur Smith retains his job.
We'll see what happens there. That's not one of the better choices, but hey, I'm not always picked to make these draft decisions. Yeah, were there any other like kind of bazonker calls? I'm a little upset with everybody taking, everybody, the 4 picks before the Giants all took receivers. So
I think for the Giants, I do like that Jalen Hyatt pick.
Yeah, no, they got some good picks.
Yeah. Well, especially a lot of people thought he'll be at least late first, early second pick.
It's a conspiracy against Daniel Jones. They don't want him to thrive.
Yeah,
they're
scared. If it pans out,
ESPN had Hyatt as the 49th best player in the whole class, and they got him in the 3rd round. That's pretty good value.
I mean, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean,
Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison.
Like, I get like Seattle takes a receiver, okay, but you already have 2 good ones. Did you really need a receiver too? Like after the first thing,
I mean that offense is going to be good.
I think a lot of people see the Bengals model of 3 good receivers.
I guess Chargers get a receiver. I get them because both their receivers are going to be hurt, so you need one. Baltimore makes sense. Minnesota, did you have to? Your receiving core. I mean, it's okay. It's like, man, you suck. Each and every one of you. Whatever. Just scared of Daniel Jones.
Yes, I'm sure. That's what it was.
Still moves to be made. Hopefully, Giants can trade for somebody.
I don't think Max's Eagles are fearing the Giants.
They should be.
I do fear the Giants more than I fear the Commanders.
Well, there's that.
So you moved a little up because you had Giants last place last year. I told you to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I told you. Anybody else got any final thoughts on what happened?
I'm very interested to see with Arizona, since they traded for a pick in next year's draft and it was Houston. What happens if they get 2 high picks? Since that also mean that presumably Kyler Murray didn't play that well. What do they do?
Oh, if they get a top 3 pick, I think Kyler Murray's gone.
And it's going to be crazy because they just signed him.
Who's taking him with some of that contract?
That's the question. I mean, maybe the Bucks will if they depend on what pick they have. Like,
you're gonna have
somebody will just because he is talented. The Cardinals need to start begging the makers of Call of Duty to do every other year.
I just think it's going to be interesting to see what a possible storyline could be.
We'll see. All right. So that is our NFL draft recap. Thank you all for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let us know what you thought. What are your thoughts? Hey, let us know how you thought your team did in the draft. I know there was a lot of teams we didn't hit, but let us know how you think your team did. I'm Legacy.
And I'm Max.
I'm Bobby.
I'm Jay.
And let the discussions begin. See ya.